Hey guys, Guy with the Magic back again. This is part 2 of the Marketwatch for August 10th, 2024. So I wanted to kind of just look at the marketplace so we can actually see the cards, see how many are in circulation, how many are in the marketplace, just kind of give you guys a visual of what's going on currently in the market. So starting like we always do, we're going to start with alpha and start with the commons. So typically, like I've said, the commons have been in that 40 to 50 cent range for the low end, up to $1, right around there. Currently, and it seems like every couple weeks there's one that'll dip down like in the 20s or maybe in the 30s. So currently the cheapest card available is the Minotaur Warlord for 28 cents. You can see there's a total of 65 on the market. But if we kind of do a deep dive, you can see there's quite a few in the 28, 29 cent range. Doesn't mean all of them are going to be, that cheap. So after about, 20 or so, now you start getting into the 35, 40 cent range. So if you don't have the card, if you're looking to pick up, a cheap alpha card, definitely I still think any alpha cards, commons $1 or less is a good deal. These were the first set. If Splinterlands does grow over time, we do get thousands of new players. We do get different kind of game modes. We do get, more than just modern and wild. If we get some other different formats where alpha is desired, these prices I think are super cheap for the amount that they're out there. You can see these are commons, and there's only in the 4,000 range for commons, where some of the newer sets, you're in the multiple tens of thousands, if not millions, for some of the reward cards. So always love to get the first edition of any game that's out there. So always have a kind of a soft spot in my heart for alpha cards. So commons are sitting, basically 50 cent to $1 range. Looking at the rares, the low end usually is right around $1. So these cards in the top row I think are a little bit undervalued currently. The cheapest one, Stone Golem, you can see here at 73 cents. Once you start getting in the rares, now you're getting down in that 2,000 to 3,000 range for amount of cards in circulation. Some of them even lower. Another thing I like looking at for alpha are the summoners. To me, to be able to get a summoner, even the most expensive Ulrich, you're sitting at $5 for an alpha summoner. I just picked up a Tyrus. I got my second copy of it. And for alpha, in case you guys didn't know, it only takes 2 copies to get it to level 2. And it only takes 86 to max out. We're so used to the newer sets where you need 115 of a rare to max it out. In alpha, you only need 86. And even if you don't want to max one out, if you want to get one to like level 5 or level 4, let's say that's max silver, you only need 8 copies. So you're looking at, $10 to $12. You could have a max silver alpha summoner. So to me, extremely undervalued for the price. So let's just take a look at the summoners right now. So you're sitting at the Earth is sitting at just over $1. Of course, Ulrich's sitting there at 5. But all of these are, $1 to $2 for an alpha summoner. So just kind of cool card to have, even if you never play with these, just to have a single one in your collection, I just think is kind of cool. Looking at epics, so now you're getting in that $2 to $5 range, which I still think is ridiculously cheap for an alpha card where there's just around 1,000 of them in existence. But hey, it is what it is. So cheapest one is just over $2, up to $5 for Serpent of the Flame. And then for your legendary, as we talked about in part 1, the most expensive, Selenia Sky, is sitting there at $175. One thing I wanted to kind of point out to you guys too, you get certain anomalies between alpha and beta. I mean, for the most part, beta is just a copy of alpha. They did add some more cards. They added neutrals. But take a look and just on your own time, compare the prices of alpha legendaries to beta legendaries. The one card I will point out right now is Lord of Darkness. Lord of Darkness alpha, there's only 5 on the market, $25. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, so there are your alpha cards. So let's take a look at the promos for alpha. So your promos, you have dragon cards, one of each rarity. Dragon Whelp sitting at just over 3. The rare sitting at 19. the epic at 49, and then Shinlo, the legendary, at 525. Your gold foils, 3 available. The common jumps up from $3 for a regular foil to just under 68 for the gold foil. The rare 119, and your epic is sitting at 1,000. But the cool thing to look at are the gold foil from the regular set. So looking at your gold foil commons, I was very tempted recently to pick up one of these, but I'm still working on land, so I needed to get a lot of DEC and other things for land. So didn't pick up alpha gold foil common, but I think I will at some point in the near future. As you can see, there's still quite a few of these under 20 bucks, so another nice thing to have in your collection. And as I pointed out in previous videos, these start at level 4, not level 3, which is kind of nice, so they are a level higher than some of the newer gold foil versions. Moving on to rares, you can see here now we start moving into the $40 range, which is kind of an anomaly if you look at the other rares. After this one at 39, now you're jumping up to the $70, $80 range. So, and of course, very few, just a handful of these on the marketplace. You can see for even just a rare, there's only 1 or 2 copies of most of these on the marketplace. Kind of surprising that the ones at the highest of is 3 for a summoner and 5 for a summoner. Another one I think that is extremely undervalued is Alric Stormbringer, being an alpha summoner gold foil under $90, and it's one of the cheaper ones compared to the rest. Looking at your epics, so now you're getting under 100 for each of these as an epic. So there are less than 100 gold foil alpha epics in circulation, and only 1 or 2 copies available on the marketplace. But then you can see the high prices here. And for legendary, mentioned in part 1, there's only 2 available. The Lord of Darkness, only 21 in circulation, only 1 on the market. And Spirit of the Forest, only 17 in existence, 1 on the market. One of the reasons I'm so big on packs and holding packs is, once again, if we get an influx of new players and people see, crazy prices like this, multiple thousands of dollars, even for like some of the epics and some of the rares that are in the, it can be couple hundred bucks. What's to stop people from going and wanting to purchase an alpha pack, for 100, 200 bucks at a chance of pulling a multiple $1,000 card? So that's just something that I'm thinking about. Okay, so let's get on to beta. And the thing that I wanted to show you with beta, let's just look at the core reward cards for beta. For your commons, the one thing I wanted to point out for land is if you are looking to max out cards for land, because most people don't want, a card that's not max. So let's just look at max level. So a max level beta card, let's take out neutral. Let's just look at some of the other elements and not look at dragon. So you can get a max, let me go to common as well. So you can get some max common cards for beta for basically under $20 for a lot of them, or right around 20. So let's say $20 to $25 for a max beta card. Now, a normal common card will give you 1,000 production points on land. Betas give you a 5-time multiplier. So you're looking at one of these that's max level is going to give you 5,000 production points. So if you're still looking to build up land and you want to get, more than 1,000 or 1,500 production points per worker, may want to check out beta cards, beta commons. Just go sort by max level, and if there's one that fits the splinter that you need, this might be something worth your while. So just wanted to point that out to you guys. Let's go back to all levels. So you can see 3 cents for the cheapest. Moving down to, just look at regular foil for now. So your most expensive are in the 40-cent range. And once again, you can see for the print runs, you're getting in a, 13 to 16,000 for the core, and then when you start getting into the ones that are the reward cards, you can see you're in the 50 to 60,000 range. Okay, looking at rares. So now for your rares, 11 cents for the cheapest. Chicken sitting at 23. And then once again, Alric Stormbringer at 525. So pretty much comparable to the alpha version, which is about the same price. So once again, which would you rather have? Would you rather have an alpha that is going to give you a 10 times multiplier on land, or a beta that's going to give you a 5 times multiplier on land for the same price? I would go with the alpha. Then your epics, you're sitting at 47 cents for the cheapest one. So you're sitting, it looks like, 5 to 8,000 for most of them. These are probably the reward ones, because the other ones you can see you're in the 18 to 2100 range. Most expensive is the Sphinx at 370. And then for legendary, cheapest legendary is the Kraken. Actually surprised that this is the cheapest one at just over $5. Up to most expensive is Valnamore. Once again, I believe this is only one copy at this price at $69, and then it jumps back up to $88. So this has kind of been the floor that I've seen for quite a while. It's been $88. Other than that, I've seen them right around 150 consistently. So there's just a couple single BCX on the market. So if you're not looking for multiple BCX, if you're just looking for a single one, grab the one at 69, because after that, 88 and then no more. So wanted to point that out. And the card that I wanted to also point out to you guys is Lord of Darkness. So the alpha Lord of Darkness is 25. The beta is 60. So that seems way out of whack to me. You would think the alpha would be a lot more expensive than the beta. So I personally think that this is very overpriced. Looking at some of the other higher end legendary cards, I think this would probably be maybe more in the $30 to $35 range. Prince Renan for a long time has been the number 2 card behind Valnamore. This one's sitting at 25. So I think the Lord of Darkness for beta is overpriced, and I think the alpha is underpriced. I think the prices pretty much should be flipped between those 2 cards. Okay, so let's look now at beta gold foils. So we'll look at the commons. So we're sitting at, just over $1.25, $1.30, $1.50 for a lot of the low end beta cards. For the gold foils, up to, this one is kind of an outlier, the one that's $19.99. This should probably be more of a $2 or $3 card. Your high-end ones are your Divine Healer and Cutthroat, right around $8. That seems more reasonable. Looking at your rares. So your rares, now you see the floor is around $7, $8 for your rare cards. I love how it takes a while for it to update the pictures, and you get the wrong picture with the wrong name. But yep, Enchanted Pixie, great card. I love that card for $7. Surprised that's the cheapest. The chicken. Chicken's sitting at $8 for a gold foil chicken. A lot of great cards here. And you can see too, for your betas, they're back to level 3 for a gold foil, as opposed to the alphas that start at level 4. And then for the high-end beta cards for the gold foil rares, why is Alric 22 but Twisted Jester is 50? Once again, this is the most expensive regular foil. You would think this would be the most expensive gold foil. So I think this is very underpriced. And like Cyclops, Prismatic Energy, Soldier, these are overpriced as well. But once you get just a handful of copies of each of these, people can pretty much name the price, and then the market will figure out if it's a deal like this one. These will probably be sold pretty quickly. Let's see how many are actually selling at that price. So you've got 3 of them under $35, and then after that, this I would think is the more realistic price at $85. So I think these are the 3 good deals, and then you're going to get to a more realistic price. After that, it's only max copies. And this might be something I think that a lot of people do that could be to your guys' advantage. As I think people that have max copies, of course they list the BCX cheaper than what it should be because you're getting multiple cards. So people might say, oh, this only goes for $27 to $29 a card. I'll sell it for 22 or 25, where it's like, no, this card should be selling for 80, 60 to 80, let's say. But because I'm selling 22 of them, I'm going to give you a discount, per BCX. So that might be what these people are doing. Okay, so there are your rares. Let's move on to epics. So epics, cheapest is just over $30. As you can see, now you're getting into very low print runs, just a couple hundred, or some of these even under 100, and just less than 10 of each of these on the market. And then your higher end ones, your Mischievous Mermaid, once again, single copy, $500. Kind of ignore that. Other than that, you're looking at, right around $95, $100 for a high-end gold foil epic. That seems more reasonable to me. And finally, your gold foil legendaries. The Kraken sitting the cheapest at $175. Only 72 in circulation, only 3 on the market. Remember Selenia Sky for the Alpha? What was it? $175 for regular foil, $333 for a single gold foil copy, only 64. And then Valnamore, once again, single copy on the marketplace for 4,000. That is your legendary. So now let's look at the promos for beta. We'll just leave it on this one page rather than just going through all the different breakdowns. But your common, of course, is the Dragon Summoner. For the longest time, he was like, 70-cent range for quite a while. Drifted down to 50 cents, and I was down to 25. So if you're looking to pick up a Dragon Summoner, if you need one for Wild, if you're looking to build your Dragon deck, he's a great place to start. Now, it does take a lot of copies of this card to get it to, the highest level. You're looking at 500 copies because it's a common. But if you're not going to play at the highest level, let's say you're going to play at max silver or even max gold, it's a lot more realistic. If you're just going to play max silver, 25 copies is very reasonable. You're looking at what, a little over $6 for a max silver Dragon Summoner. That's not bad at all. So 25 cents for the regular foil, $5 for the gold foil. For your rare, 24 cents. For regular foil, $13 for the gold, only 2 available. Then for your epic, 98 cents for an epic is not a bad price. Little League Flying. For the gold foil, looking at $47, 2 available. And then for the legendaries, Red Dragon, just over $6, $685 for the gold foil. And then, of course, the two of the rarest cards, the Archmage Arius, $650, 5 on the market, only 87 in existence, and Prince Julian, just under 3,000, 3 on the market, 83 in existence. So that is it for beta. So let's move now into, well, since we're here, we don't have to go in order. Let's just do orbs since we're right here. So for your commons, 4, all cheap. Best one I still think is the Armor Smith at 10 cents, good price. For your rares, very tight range, 16 to 18 cents. Getting the Bard with Cleanse, very nice for 1 mana. Undead Archer, Affliction is very nice. Little League, 2 mana, very good card. Your epics, there's only 2, the Wizard and the Healer. Wizard has come down in price a lot. For the longest time, they were both $2, $3 range. He's down to 59 cents. Healer's still holding at $2.60. And then the legendary cards, 3 available. Warlord for just around 9. Corrupted Pegasus, just under 14. Lord of Fire for $18.75. In your gold foil version, actually, let's just look at, this is all the gold foils that are on the marketplace. For the commons, you're basically around $2 for a gold foil common. For your rares, just under 10 for the eel, then it jumps above 22 for the archer, and surprisingly $43 for the bard. So I think this is very overpriced. But once again, look, there's only 2 on the marketplace, so that's why this card is the price that it is. More realistic, I think this should be a $15 to $20 card. And then for the legendaries, there's only 2 available. Lord of Fire sitting at just under 500, and Corrupted Pegasus at 14. Okay, so Untamed. So the big surprise this week was Untamed. for one of the cards. So for your commons, you're going to start at a penny. And then the high-end cards for a while, have been the Failed Summoner and the Spy. Failed Summoner is reclaimed the #1 spot at 18 cents for a common. Serpentine Spy, fantastic card, sitting at only 6 cents. So if you're looking to build your wild deck, some great cards are Failed Summoner, the Spy, Sandworm. Don't overlook the Thief. That's a great card. Flame Monkey at higher levels. So very, very good cards at just pennies. For your rares, 4 cents for the low end rare. And let's take a look real quick at summoners. So these are your summoner prices. So once again, if you're looking to build your wild deck, need summoners, 3 mana. Okay, which of these are good, which are bad? At these prices, I would say just grab one of each Splinter. Just go for all of them. If you're looking to build a wild deck, I mean 9 cents really for death, 10, 11 cents for life. Even the most expensive at Earth is only 28 cents a BCX. Bortus comes in very useful for those magic only rule sets. He's sitting at 17 cents per BCX. So very low prices I wanted to point out to you guys. If you're looking to build your wild deck, you always want to start with summoners. But other than summoners, the most expensive ones, Elven Mystic, Shield Bearer, great taunt card. Can't believe this card is under 30 cents. Remember when it was multiple dollars. Great card. Truth Speaker, another one, 22 cents. Very good card with that Protect. Looking at Epic, 14 cents for an Epic. That just seems so cheap for Untamed, but is what it is. 14 cents for the Frozen, which is the cheapest. Most expensive is only $1. So a lot of great cards. I'll let you guys go through and see which ones that you would like to grab, which ones you think are good deals. I love Coral Wraith and Axemaster, 2 great cards. Can't believe they're both under 50 cents. But definitely, if you're looking to build a wild deck, check out Untamed. Just, take some time, go through the marketplace. There are some really good deals. And then finally, let me go up to the top, click on Legendary. So, what is the most expensive Untamed Legendary? Well, everyone knows it's Kitty. It's always Kitty. Until it's not. So now it is Jotun. Jotun's sitting at $65. And as we went over in part 1, he was $25, jumped this week to $65, way above Kitty. Kitty had been holding $50 to $60 for quite a while, has come down to $42. Let's take a look and see how many single copies are actually available. So there are 3 copies available under 50 bucks for Kitty. But once again, look at the low liquidity on a card like this. You've got 7 single BCX cards on the entire market. That's it. Once you get past the first 3, then you go 55, 60, 62, and then way up to 96. So if someone decided, hey, I want to go buy Kitty, level her up, one person could wipe out the market. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One person could buy these 9 cards, not even have a max Kitty. So some other key cards from the set from Untamed. Kron is under 8 at $7.79. Like I said, Kitty's at $42. Llama's sitting at $25. Another card that I see occasionally from time to time, a very annoying card if you're playing against it, it's Cornelius, sitting at $13.50. So that is a great card. But yeah, a lot of great cards on the set. Dragon Jumper, another good card, sitting under $4. Mimosa Nightshade, a legendary summoner for under 8. So definitely check this out if you guys are looking to build your deck in Wild. And I won't even mention how much I paid for Ancient Lich when I got back in the game from, I think it was late 2021. Oh, yes, this hurts to see it at $1.50. Okay, what do we look at next? Let's look at the gold foil versions. So your cheapest gold foil, looking at 36, 37 cents for gold foil common Untamed. Most expensive, Failed Summoner, makes sense, $3.81. The Spy sitting at $1.28 is a very good price. I picked one up a couple months ago for $2. And I was very happy to get a gold foil Spy at $2. $1.28, I might pick up some more and level them up. Sandworm, another great card. If you don't have Sandworm in Wild, you're missing out. Very good card, under $2. Might as well grab a gold foil and get that extra 10% bonus. For your rares, $1.47 for the cheapest. Down to most expensive, True Speaker is sitting at $10. But other than that, Tower Griffin, I think this is a little overpriced at $7. Take these two cards out and you're looking at your high-end gold foils are sitting around $4. But let's look at the summoners. So you can get a gold foil summoner for $2. I think that's a great deal, especially this one being dragon. You know, a lot of people need dragon summoners. Bortus, like I mentioned earlier, very good with that -1 magic, sitting at under 3. So if you want to go, if you have a little bit more money to invest and want to go the gold foil summoner route, you know, not bad prices across the board. To get that extra 10% bonus is worth it in the long run. Okay, let's look at epics. Once again, cheapest, right around $8 for gold foil epic, up to $149 for the chief. And look at the amount in circulation. Now you're in the several hundreds, so you're under 500, I think, for most of these gold foil epic cards. And then your gold foil legendaries, cheapest, you're just under $70. And let's look at some of the key cards in the set. So Jotun is sitting at just under 1,000. Mimosa Nightshade surprisingly is at $850, but it's the only one available. So that is why it is at this high price. Kitty sitting at just under $780. Another key card, Kron, sitting at just over $200. Llama sitting at $275. You can see just a handful of copies available. And look at Kitty, under 100. Only 76 gold foil kitties in circulation, and a lot of these are in the low hundreds. So very, very tough card. So as I mentioned earlier, why I'm so big on packs, you know, you can pick up Untamed packs for, you know, $4 or $5. I think it's a steal, especially when you have cards. I mean, think about it too. These prices are low. You know, the market is very low. The market is very soft. These are low prices for these cards. Imagine when the market gets, if it does at some point get back to where it was a couple years ago, you know, if the game takes off, prices go back to where they were per BCX. You know, these prices look high now. They can get absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see. Okay, so Untamed. Let's look at Dice real quick. Or actually, let's look at the promo cards, because we didn't go through that yet. So Halfling Alchemist, under $2. Chain Golem sitting at 16. I believe these prices are the same as 2 weeks ago, so not a lot of movement here. Chain Golem seems to be the card that goes up and down a lot, but at least for the last couple weeks it's been pretty stable. Okay, let's move on to Dice. So for your commons, actually a penny or two for most of these. Flamesmith is kind of the outlier, jumps up to 22 cents. And then for your rares, what I mentioned in part 1, you can actually get a Mylor now for $1. So this card had been so high a couple years ago, you know, like I said, 20, 30, 40 bucks per PCX. I thought it was great when it went under $3. Now you can get a Mylor for $1. Lorna Shine, another great card, under 50 cents. Once again, if you're looking to build your summoners for Wild, you know, even Mylor, you know, $1 is not too bad. Epics, 15 to 39 cent range for the epics. Oppress may be start coming more and more desirable with the amount of weapon training and people that are using monsters that have no attacks. So don't overlook, if you play in Wild, the power of the Oppress ability. And these cards are very cheap. Legendaries. Of course, not a whole lot of legendaries in this set. Lensmaster sitting at $269 is the cheapest, up to $70 for Epona. Another card that I think is very undervalued, at least to the pricing over the last few months. Krallis had been pretty consistently around, I would say, $15 to $25 range, some weeks up to $30. So to see it at $8.26 is kind of surprising to me. This seems very low. If you don't have a copy of Krallis, it's a fantastic card. You can get it under $10 and get it for $8.26. Might be the time to pull the trigger. All right, what do we got next? Next we have Chaos Legion. And won't spend a whole lot of time on Chaos Legion. You guys know the drill. You guys know very, very overprinted. Let's sort these by common. So all the commons now. Let's just look at Chaos Legion. 1 or 2 cents, basically a penny for all of the commons, except for the psychic and deep lurker are 2, and then the hireling is 8. So if you haven't by now maxed these out, I don't know if these will get any cheaper. And then the rares, of course, a penny, 2 cents for the low end. As you can see, hundreds of thousands of these cards, many hundreds, if not 1,000 or more on the marketplace. But the key thing that people need to look at are what are the prices of the summoners. So now you've got summoners around, 10 to 15 cents for most of them. One card I wanted to point out that kind of jumped up in price is the Guardian. So while all of Chaos Legion has just gone down, 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 there are a couple cards here and there, even though they might be not the priciest ones, have kind of held and gone up a little bit in value. So being a healer for the blue team and then eventually getting the repair, this card is pretty much holding a pretty good price at 15 cents for a rare card. And then Kellia's under 20 cents. For your epics, looking at 7 cents, 8 cents for the low end. Still some very great, fantastic cards to pick up for a few pennies if you don't have them already. And then Wave Brood is kind of, you can see, is over double the next most expensive epic. So Wave Brood is sitting at 41 cents, where Igor is sitting at 18. And then for your legendaries, cheapest legendaries are under 40 cents now. So you can see over 10,000 of each of these available, and the reward cards you're looking at, 50,000 or more available. I still love the 0 mana cost cards. If you guys don't have at least a single BCX of all these legendary 0 cost cards, I would highly recommend getting at least one copy. I don't think 0 mana cost will ever be reprinted again in any way, shape, or form. Time will tell, but I think this was just kind of a special thing just for Chaos Legion. And yeah, just having a 0 cost card is just so useful. Even at this price, it's going to cost you under $5 to max one out and get the ability. If you do play a max level deck, you can do that as well. And then the most expensive card is Lily Shieldpot, $6.50. Now it had been for, and it has been for many, many months. Possibilis and Immortalis have been like the top two, kind of fluctuating back and forth week to week. As you can see now, Lily is almost twice of what they are. So this is kind of showing, there are certain cards that go up in value, even though this is a massively overprinted set, if it is extremely powerful and desirable. So this is the case. Looking at all the top cards, they are all summoners, but still, I mean, to be able to get a legendary summoner for $2-3, I think is just fantastic. So, great entry price for new players. Now for the gold foil versions, 11 cents, 12 cents for cheapest gold foil commons, up to Scavo just over $1. And even having a single copy of these, if you're playing a low-end deck, just to be able to get that 10% bonus, I would highly recommend picking up if you're a new player. Just get a single BCX of these, which automatically gives you a level 3, a max bronze card, and you get that 10% bonus for it being gold foil. Fantastic to get these for just a few pennies. Rares, 46 cents for the low end. Up to your summoners, you're seeing at $1.50 to $1.70. Gold foil epics, which you guys know I love for land. So you're sitting basically in that 250, high end is 750 range. But a lot of these are under $4. So you can see most of these cards, even the dragon, $3 to $4 range. So great cards to have for land. Each one only takes 1,000 DEC to stake it, because they are 1/10 of max level. It takes 10 of these to max one out. So if you can only afford to buy one at a time and put it on land, for $3, $4 for the card, and then what is DEC per 1,000? 70 cents. So for under $5, you can get 660 production points. And then finally your gold foil legendaries. We're getting back closer to that $20 floor for gold foil legendaries. You know, it had been down to around 15. Now we're getting back to 18, 19, 20 bucks. So the floor for gold foil legendaries, even Chaos Legion, is starting to go up. So you can see not a whole lot of these are on the marketplace, so the people that have them are hanging on to them. And then the high-end card, which I thought was funny, is this one. This is usually the cheapest legendary because no one wants this card, hardly anybody plays it, but there's only one on the market, so it is the most expensive. Other than that, you would think it would be some of the legendary summoners. Nope, no, it's the Fungus Fiend. So you would think, okay, the next one has to be a legendary summoner. Nope, it's Jared Scar. Look how far down the list you get before you finally get a legendary summoner. Immortalis, sitting here at under 40 bucks. So you've got all these other ones, which, you know, are decent cards for the most part, but usually your gold foil legendary summoners are the most expensive. And all these are 40 bucks or less. And where a Lily is the most expensive regular foil at 650, and it's down here under 30 bucks, I think this is an absolute steal. I mean, if you're going to price the highest end, even at 65, 70 bucks, Lily should be 75, 80, I think, minimum. So to me, not financial advice, this card is a steal at under 30. Okay, what else do we want to look at? Promo cards. So these are the promos, just to kind of sort it a little bit better. So for the commons, not a whole lot of movement other than, wow, look at this. This price has changed dramatically since I just did part 1. So when I did part 1, the bear was at 5, and I believe Ruse was at 11 cents. Look at it now. Look how quickly the market can change, guys. So now your cheapest Ruse is 60 cents. The cheapest one was 11 cents when I did this video just a couple hours ago. So very, very quickly the market can turn, and it can turn just so quickly and just out of the blue. Yep, the gold foils are pretty much the same, $1.50 to $3. But yeah, if we do get an influx of new players, I've said it so many times, they can just wipe this market out and it will change in a heartbeat and will just floor everyone. Okay, oh, before I get to Rift Watchers, we didn't go through all the legendary promos. Okay, let's look at just a regular foil. So the big change this week was Zerial, that had been sitting, 13 to 15 bucks, jumped to 34. Waka is pretty much the same, Lux is pretty much the same. And then your gold foil versions, don't think there's a whole lot of difference. Dr. Blight around 200, Zerial 165. But yeah, the regular foil Zerial is the one that's really changed. Okay, Rift Watchers. So your commons, pretty much 1 to 15 cents. Not a whole lot of exciting happenings there. Your rares, the one big change is Tinderlock. Tinderlock really jumped in price. Queen of Crows has always been the most expensive rare, going from about 50 cents to $1. Tinderlock's been in that 20, 30 cent range. Corsair Boissan's usually been number 3. These have been your top 3 or 4. But yeah, this one really jumped this week up to 65 cents. For your epics, another thing that's changed is Ilthane has always been the most expensive summoner. Now Fernheart actually jumped. So Fernheart is just under $3 and Ilthane dropped to 237. So thought that was interesting. Wanted to point that out to you guys. And for legendaries, not really a whole lot of change here, other than since I did the video 2 hours ago or so, Inevitable was the highest price at 22. Now you can see someone bought Agor Longtail. Now it's up to 26. This card was under 10 earlier today. So once again, the market can just change in a heartbeat. Because yeah, Inevitable was 1, Immolation was 2 at 10, Coral Lurker $6. Yeah, might have been like 6 or 7 for Agor earlier today, and now 26. Let's look at the gold foil versions. So your commons, pretty normal range, under $1 for a common. Your rares, just under $1 to $2, $3, $4, right in that range for the high end. As you can see, Queen of Crows is the most expensive, Okay, regular foil Tinderlock is 65 cents. I'd rather spend a little bit more, get the gold foil that's level 2 for $1.59. So this card is undervalued in my opinion. If you need a Tinderlock, go for this one. For your epic, want to point out Ilthane is the most expensive simply because there are no copies of Fernheart at all on the marketplace. So just wanted to point that out as well. None for Fernheart. And then for legendaries, see the prices here, just under $24 for the low end, up to $155 for the C-Rec. All right, and then finally, let's look at Rebellion. So let's just look at the core set. Look at the commons. You know, normal common range, just a few cents, up to 35 cents for the high-end summoner. For your rares, 13, 14 cents for your low-end rares. You can see the amount available for sale and in circulation. High-end and Moxian Rebel once again at $1.50, but Avina the Wolf, who had been number 2, has dropped down to number 3. The Soothsayer has moved up to number 2 with the cleanse and with that magic damage. Epics, so you got 50 cents for the Hatchling, up to $3.15 for Captain Fellblade. This has come down 2 weeks ago. I believe it was above $6, so still the strongest epic of the set. And then finally the legendary, we went over this in part 1, $3.30 for the low end, up to $20 for Venka the Vile. So a lot of your key cards are in that $14 to $20 range still. We went through card by card what the prices were compared to 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to give you a chance to kind of look at how many are for sale and how many are in circulation. So a lot of these you're looking at, you know, between 1,000 and 1,300 copies in circulation, but you've only got under 20 for the most part available on the marketplace for most of these cards. A couple of exceptions. The Squirrel, there is 52 available for sale, and then the low-end Zabajan, there's 42. Other than that, you're in the 20s or teens or less for all these legendary cards, and these aren't even the gold foils. So looking at gold foils, commons, 60 cents for the low end, up to $3. For your rares, $2.25 for your cheapest rare. And even for a rare, look at, there's not very many copies on the marketplace. And then this is the outlier, $49.90 for a rare Chaos Jailer. No, not when Moxian Rebel is 15. This card should probably be, I would say, $3. So, but it's the only one on the marketplace, so that's why they can name their price. Even the Moxian Rebel, there's only 3 copies, so very low liquidity. Gold foil epics. Talk about low liquidity. Look at here, under 10 for all of them. Low end one is they're asking just over $12 to $22.50. And then finally your gold foil legendaries. Cheapest is $70, 3 available on the market. Most expensive is a single gold foil Lorcus, and they're asking just under $700. But look at the low liquidity. 1 copy, 3 copies, 5 copies, 2 copies on the marketplace. Cryptic is 9. So the most gold foil legendaries available on the marketplace, there's 9 copies. So let's add this real quick. So you've got 17, 24, 33, 41, 45, 50. You've got 57 gold foil legendaries total on the marketplace for Rebellion. That's it. 57 copies. Some at, you know, decent prices, some at ridiculous, I don't want to sell it price. But in all the Rebellion, we've had what, over 900,000 packs open. You've got 57 gold foil legendaries for sale in the marketplace. Okay, and let's wrap this video up looking at the promos. So your regular foil promos, Grimbarden Smith has dropped down under 3. He's sitting at $2.59. Henchling Enforcer at 65 cents. And then Baron Fiat is sitting at $4.21. Mantaroth has been holding pretty steady between 35 and $40. He's sitting just under 35. Then the gold foil versions, the Henschling is at 717. Grimbard & Smith, exactly the same at just over 30 bucks from where he was 2 weeks ago. Mantaroth at 185, only 2 on the market. And Baron Fiat just over 100 bucks, 5 on the market. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's very long, but just kind of want to go in depth, every 2 weeks and just kind of take a look at the market. Let's, get a visual record of how many cards there are, how many are on the market, just kind of point out some anomalies, cards I think that are underpriced and overpriced. And I want to end the video again just to kind of highlight and go over Rebellion, go over the gold legendaries, and just kind of show you guys. We'll close with this, just how few there are in the marketplace. And like I've said, it doesn't take very many people to come in, that have, a decent amount of money. Maybe they've made a lot of money in crypto to come in and just easily wipe this all away. So hope you guys are doing well. As always, thank you so much for your support. Next week we will do the next episode of the Land Market Watch, so stay tuned for that. And as always, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun. I'll see you soon. Take care.